The 2023-24 season will be the last time Adidas makes jerseys for the NHL. So that means there will be a new kit supplier starting from the 2024-25 season, but it's not a household name we're too familiar with. Are we to expect an upgrade with the new NHL partners, or are we going to be stuck with a downgrade for quite a while? We'll uncover all this in the video, and stick around to the end because we have a surprise for you that you won't want to miss.
The merchandise giant will replace Adidas as the league's uniform and jersey outfitter here now.
It has been set in stone. Fanatics will be the official uniform outfitter for the NHL for the next 10 seasons starting in 2024, when the current 7-year contract of Adidas expires. But Adidas was making amazing jerseys that were popular and selling well. So why didn't the NHL renew or extend their contract with them? Simple. Adidas didn't want to roll with the NHL anymore. In the summer of 2022, Adidas didn't indicate interest in a future with the NHL when their current running contract ends after the 2023-24 season. Adidas took over their then subsidiary, Reebok, back in 2017, paying almost double the $35 million that Reebok was paying annually since 2005. Adidas was paying roughly a 200% increase in the price for the rights to be the NHL's official outfitter, and it couldn't be any more reasonable given how big the NHL was getting. Between 2009 and 2017, NHL revenue had risen by a little bit shy of $2 billion. And as the NHL got bigger and bigger, that meant more cash for whoever was making jerseys for the league. But money isn't the only thing sports brands have to bring to the table to secure a good deal. They have to not only bring creativity, but also their A game. With the way Adidas was setting the bar high for Fanatics, the sports apparel company will have to think outside the box if they want their hockey uniforms to be on par with their predecessors, let alone better. Adidas was making hockey uniforms with the most cutting-edge fabric technology to ensure players were comfortable while the jerseys were durable and functional at the same time. To do this, they weren't compromising on the quality of materials used in making these uniforms, and that's where a few eyebrows can be raised with the new boys in charge, Fanatics. Before this contract announcement, Fanatics were making NHL jerseys. Well, replicas to be precise. Since 2017, Fanatics have been making replicas of ice-on jerseys for fans which were obvious to spot when they weren't the real deal. And they were also doing this for the NFL and the MLB, where they made jerseys with the logo of other sports brands and sold them in retail. Because of this, fans already had a premeditated notion that Fanatics are just good at cost-friendly second-tier jerseys, and may take a lot for them to be able to deliver to the standard that previous brands have. So when word was out about the new NHL outfitter, hockey enthusiasts weren't fans of Fanatics taking over. And to be honest, NHL fans have a good reason to feel this way. Aside from the fabric, the replica jerseys Fanatics made had a troubling amount of errors, like wrong printings. Another front that Fanatics may have had a hard time keeping up with their predecessor is the creativity department. When Adidas took over Reebok in 2017, they had big plans for NHL jerseys. They didn't just want to make jerseys, they wanted to make art with history etched in it. Adidas had met with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman to pitch an idea where a special uniform for each team would be commemorating a special moment in the franchise's history. The head of Adidas Hockey, Dan Neer, acknowledged how revolutionary this was going to be, stating, "The NHL and Adidas coming together to say we're going to do what hockey hasn't done before." After a year or two on the drawing board and some back-and-forth discussion with franchise officials, the retro reverse jerseys were a thing of reality during the 2020-21 season. Nostalgia is stitched into the fabric of the modern game, an intersection between fashion, function, and fandom. So, with such high stakes, why didn't the NHL decide to go with another big brand like, say, Nike or Under Armour? Well, these guys already have their hands full with the NFL, MLB, and the NBA. Besides, they're not very popular with NHL fans. So the NHL decided to partner with someone they have a history with, someone they could trust, and that was Fanatics. Fanatics. Well, its CEO Michael Rubin has been in business with the NFL since 2005.
We've been in business with NHL since 2005. nearly 20 years, had an incredible partnership.
Ruben was the owner of GSI Commerce, an e-commerce company that oversaw the NHL's e-commerce operation. The partnership was so fruitful that NHL online sales tripled in a span of 4 years. And as the partnership aged, Fanatics' scope of operation grew wider. In 2017, they were making officially licensed replica jerseys, and by the year after that, they were supplying players and coaches with practice wear. The NHL didn't flinch at the thought of partnering with Fanatics on this big project. In fact, they were just as happy and eager for this partnership as much as Fanatics were. From hindsight, it looks like Fanatics were just doing all these deals with the NHL with the goal of eventually being the official outfitter. But that couldn't be any further from the truth, as in an interview with ESPN's Greg Wyshynski, CEO of Fanatics Commerce Doug Mack put it, "It was never, if you do well on this, this is what happens next." I think that was us doing all that, Adidas doing the on-ice items. But as things unfolded over time, it was more the NHL seeing what we've done and approaching us to say, "Are you up for taking this next step?" What we are seeing between these two is really more of a classic case of a company doing so well with little that they are trusted with bigger things. Nevertheless, we also need to remember that Adidas was the one who chose to cut ties with the NHL, so there's no way Michael Rubin and Fanatics had a master plan to take over the NHL jersey business. But as fate would have it, when the opportunity came knocking, Fanatics opened the door to this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Nothing was forced or instigated. This deal came as organic as it gets. Take the NHL Executive VP of Marketing Brian Jennings' word for it. It continues to be a natural progression with everything that we're doing with a partner in Fanatics going back to 2005 to the e-commerce play. With that, we've grown with them. Each step of the way, you've just watched this increasing commitment to product, commitment to performance, commitment to design. By the way, this deal is the first of its kind for Fanatics. This is the first time in the company's history that they would be jersey providers for a pro sports league. Furthermore, given the success of their predecessors, Fanatics plans on keeping some things the same, such as the Quebec-based factory that Adidas was using to make jerseys. But machinery isn't the only thing Fanatics is keeping from Adidas. Keith Leach is the Fanatics NHL brand VP, and his resume includes work with previous NHL kit makers including CCM, Reebok, and of course Adidas. He's joined by his creative lead Dom Fillion, who worked with him at Adidas. Maybe the fans shouldn't be so worried after all. But hold on a second. What about our beloved retro reverse jerseys? What's their fate under Fanatics? For starters, it's the NHL that has a say about what happens to them. And the NHL, despite the popularity of the reverse retro jerseys, plans on keeping them quote-unquote limited. As Brian Jennings stated, reverse retro was incredibly successful for 2 years, but I wouldn't have gone back and done reverse retro 3.0. I think it had done its thing. However, it's not completely going to be forgotten. As he added, maybe in the future we go back into the vault and re-examine them. But in the grand scheme of things, the NHL doesn't want Fanatics copying old things. They want innovation, something new with Fanatics. And we always get new jerseys whenever a uniform supplier is changed. But the work put into designing these new jerseys is quite a lot. So for now, we shouldn't expect any drastic design changes in the jerseys aside from the anniversary jersey. Fanatics wants to get into the stride of things before thinking about major changes. If anything, time is on their side. 10 years is definitely a long time, and we can only wait and find out what the next decade of NHL jerseys will look like. We deeply value your support, and as a token of our appreciation, we're thrilled to present this exclusive giveaway opportunity. If you've reached the conclusion of our video, congratulations, because you're about to embark on a special journey with us. As we bid farewell to the era of NHL teams donning Adidas jerseys, you now have the chance to win one for yourself. Entering is easy. Simply subscribe to both our YouTube and Instagram channels, then drop a comment specifying your preferred jersey and size and your Instagram account in the comments section. Please note that multiple comments from the same user will result in disqualification. The fortunate winner will be selected at random from eligible entries. The grand announcement of the winner is scheduled for October 10th, 2023, coinciding with the commencement of the new season, and it will be made exclusively on our Instagram account. For complete rules and details, please refer to the video description. Good luck to all of you!